All right, here's a quick example of how to get ChatGPT to help you role play a difficult conversation. You could type something like this into the chat. Hey, I've got a difficult conversation with my head of marketing. I'd like to role play it with you. Can you start before the role play? Can you start by asking me 4 questions and compile a brief psychological profile that I can review before taking the role play to voice mode? Sure, happy to help you prepare for your conversation. Let's start with 4 questions to better understand. What's the main topic? Their work quality has been slipping. I'm noticing a decrease in quality. Okay, just for that. Let's see. What outcomes are you hoping to achieve from this conversation? I'd like for him to do quality control before bringing me collateral. Okay, let's see. Number 3, how's your relationship with head marketing been? Pretty solid. We've worked together for quite some time without many disagreements. He does respond well to feedback, but that's usually been at the project level, and I'd like to zoom out. Okay, and last, what are your concerns? I'm not sure how he'll respond to more generic feedback about trends in his work. Okay, so let's see that. So, based on your responses, here's a brief psychological profile. Since relationship solid, he's responsive. Okay, so that's really just to kind of get ChatGPT to do some chain of thought reasoning. Outcome orientation, I actually don't, that's fine. I'm not going to pay much attention to it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to open ChatGPT, and I'm actually going to take the conversation to voice. So right now you can see in my app on my phone, I've got the same conversation, and at the bottom there, you can take it to voice. So I'm just going to hit that. It's going to bring up the chat dialogue. Hey, can we do the role play now? I'll start by saying, hey, Jason, nice to see you today.
Absolutely. Let's start the role play. You can be yourself, and I'll play the role of Jason, your head of marketing. Go ahead when you're ready.
Hey, Jason, I wanted to talk briefly about some of the collateral. Do you have a minute?
Hey, Jeremy, sure, I've got a minute. What's up with the collateral?
I'm feeling like I'm catching more errors than usual. Is that just me, or do you feel the same way? I didn't know if we needed to have a bigger conversation or if you're aware of that.
I appreciate you bringing this up, Jeremy. I hadn't noticed a significant change, but I'm open to looking into it. Could you give me some examples of the errors you're noticing? That might help me understand the issue better.
Yeah, I mean, just the other day, you sent me a video that said Steve Jobs in the elevator on my interview with Amy Edmondson, but there was no reference to Steve Jobs or elevators. It was actually really weird.
Oh, I see. That does sound like a noticeable mistake. I apologize for that oversight. It seems like I might need to take a closer look at the...
Okay, so what you can see is this whole thing has been transcribed here. I don't know if it's transcribed here. It'd be interesting if it went back and forth, but it doesn't look like it. Might be able to refresh. Let's just see if it does. I'd be curious. Oh, yeah, it does. Okay, so now I can go back into ChatGPT and I can say, can you give me feedback on this approach? What should I do differently to really land with Jason? Your approach was effective in several ways, but there's room for enhancement. Start with the positives. Oh, you know what? I didn't do that. That's interesting. Be specific and constructive. You did give a specific example. Try to frame it. Perhaps we could implement a final review checklist. Okay, yeah. So you get the idea. Point is, now I can go back and forth. I could try again. I could do it. I get feedback. If I feel like the profile is incomplete, I could give that feedback as well. But especially with voice mode, you give yourself a chance to really role play almost in a real-time kind of a way, and then lean on ChatGPT to do what it's great at, which is synthesize, iterate, etc. That's the idea.